I'm Tjiurimo Hengari from the South African Institute of International Affairs. South Africa is a new entrance on the international scene, the country having just recently celebrated 2 decades of democracy. That makes it a fairly new player on the international scene. However, what has been exciting about the South African approach to democracy support is that immediately at the transition, the country committed itself to normative advancement of issues of democracy and democratic governance, particularly in Africa. The country encountered serious problems in the 1990s, especially under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, where South Africa tried to promote norms such as democracy in Africa through a stick approach as opposed to trying to build consensus around these issues. And the backlash from that approach was when Nigeria in particular clearly castigated South Africa for having taken an approach that was quite un-African when it comes to continental problem solving. So the approach changed from one that was largely rooted in South Africa's own transition and its commitment to democracy, human rights, and so forth, to a larger approach that sought to include the continent or individual African member states into issues of democracy and good governance. South Africa's 3 top policy concerns at this point in time mostly have to do with issues of regional stability, promoting peace, and thirdly, I would say promoting democratic governance is a precondition to sustainable peace. Coordinating with international actors, including the United States and the European Union, is quite essential for democracy to take shape and to develop deeper roots in Africa. But for South African policy makers, I don't think that it is the approach that they would like to take, particularly in light of the strong non-interventionist approach that South African foreign policy had taken over the past few years. South Africa strongly believes in African solutions to African problems, and to a certain degree that rules out or that limits the scope for cooperation with international actors, including the United States and the European Union. When I speak to South African diplomats, the issue of democracy support does not appear foremost on their minds. What is crucial is the degree to which South Africa can promote continental stability, and only then would issues of democracy appear in the foreign policy priorities.